All right, welcome back. So, in our last chat, we got the claim submitted, we sent it out the door, but what happens then? Today, we're going to talk about that critical final mile of the race: posting the payments, balancing the books, and maybe most importantly, stopping those pesky claim denials before they even happen. Honestly, this is where the money is really won or lost. So, let's get right into it. So, I want you to think about your revenue cycle like you're running a marathon. You've done all the hard work up front, you started strong, but what happens in that crucial final mile? This is exactly where so many practices stumble. It's that last leg of the journey where payments actually get posted, accounts get reconciled, and you have to deal with denials. Getting this part right, well, that's the difference between sprinting across the finish line and collapsing just short of it. Okay, so let's really break down this final mile, and we're going to start with payment posting. Now, I know it sounds pretty simple, right? But this is the one step where you either create total financial clarity for your practice or you lose it completely. If you get this wrong, you're basically flying blind, and all sorts of costly little errors can just slip right by you. So, at its core, payment posting is really the backbone of your financial record keeping. It's the systematic process of logging every single thing that happens to a patient's account: every payment, every insurance adjustment, every write off. And it's not just about tracking the cash coming in, it's about making sure every single dollar you're owed is accounted for, period. Now, insurers talk back to you about payments in two main ways, and the difference between them is, well, it's huge. On one side, you have the electronic ERA. It's an electronic file that's fast, it allows for automated posting, and it's way more accurate. And then you have the old school paper EOB. This means someone has to manually key everything in, which, as you know, opens the door for all kinds of human error. The takeaway here is really simple. The more you can get on the ERA train, the healthier your whole process is going to be. Let's walk through the actual process. Step one is just getting your hands on those reports, the ERAs and EOBs from the payer. Simple enough. Step two is payment application. This is where you actually apply that payment to the right patient account, post any adjustments, and then transfer whatever's left over to the patient's responsibility. And here's a crucial tip. You have to post the $0 payments from denials too. Why? Because that's the trigger that kicks off your whole denial management workflow. Finally, step three is where you process patient payments and clean up any credit balances. Of course, even if your posting is absolutely perfect, some claims are just gonna get denied. It's a reality of the system we work in. The thing is, this isn't a failure. The real key is to stop treating it like a fire drill every time and instead build a systematic process to investigate, resolve, and here's the magic part, prevent those same denials from ever happening again. Okay, I need you to pay close attention to this slide because this distinction trips up so many people. We're talking rejected versus denied claims. A rejected claim has a simple error, like a typo in a name or a policy number. It never even made it into the payer's system. You just fix it and resubmit. Easy. But a denied claim, that's a formal no from the payer after they've reviewed it. That requires a full-blown investigation and a formal appeal. They are not the same thing. So this slide really gets to the heart of why claims get denied. And you know what? It's rarely some big, complex, unsolvable mystery. It's almost always a breakdown in the fundamentals. We're talking simple coding errors, accidentally sending a duplicate claim, patient eligibility issues, or not providing enough documentation to prove medical necessity. And the key insight here, the most important part, almost all of these are preventative. So if we know that most of these denials are preventable, that brings us to the most important strategic shift happening in revenue cycle management today. Instead of just getting better and faster at chasing down denials after they happen, the really smart organizations are focusing all their energy on preventing them from happening in the first place. It's a total mindset change. Why is this shift so urgent? It all comes down to this number, 11.8%. That's the industry average denial rate. I want you to just let that sink in for a second. More than 1 out of every 10 claims you work so hard to submit gets denied. That's not just a small leak in your revenue cycle. For a lot of practices, that is a flood of lost money and completely wasted time. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Chasing down individual denials is like playing whack-a-mole. You might smack one down, but you're not fixing the machine that's causing them to pop up in the first place. It is an expensive, super inefficient cycle that totally fails to address the systemic issues causing denials to happen over and over and over again. And this slide lays out the two paths so perfectly. On one side, you've got the old reactive way. You're always correcting things after the fact. It's super expensive, and you're constantly playing catch-up. On the other side, you have the proactive approach.
fixing the root cause before you even send the claim out. It's cheaper, it's way smarter, and it actually solves the problem for good.
So, how do you actually become proactive? Well, you use modern tools like these. Predictive analytics using AI can act like an early warning system, flagging high-risk claims before you even hit send. Integrated prior authorization makes sure you get the green light before a service is even performed, stopping that denial cold. Root cause dashboards turn all your data into real intelligence, showing you exactly where your problems are coming from. And finally, clinician education. This closes the loop by preventing documentation errors right at the source. So, as we wrap things up here, I just want you to ask yourself this one simple question. When you really look at your own revenue cycle, is that final mile a confident sprint to the finish line? Or is it a constant stumble over the same preventable errors and denials? Because mastering your payment posting and making that shift to denial prevention is how you guarantee you finish strong every single time.